Gail Sanders. Tonight with me, I have three guests, Micha Hanks, Chris Blake, and Cindy Peters. Together tonight we're going to discuss the Brown Mountain lights and other light phenomena around the globe. Welcome everyone.
Thank you.
How's it going?
Good, good. We're very excited. I understand that this is a timely topic as we have a festival coming up. And to start, I'd just like to get viewers acquainted with you and your backgrounds. So if we could start with Cindy Peters, can you tell us what your experience has been with the lights, what you believe them to be, and kind of more importantly, why? Why is there this phenomenon?
Well, all of that's a mystery. I live in Linville Falls, which is very close to the Linville Gorge, and I've grown up looking for the lights. There are many places that you can see the lights, but particularly I love the Linville Gorge. I love the peacefulness of it. I love the quietness of it. So I would go there a lot, and I've seen the lights a lot. And I'm sure we'll talk in depth in the next hour about the different types of lights I've seen.
Okay. And your thoughts on why?
Well,
just your thoughts.
It's a spiritual experience for me. I make myself quiet and peaceful before I go. It's spiritual.
And Chris Blake, can you share us with your little background and your experience with the lights?
Well, Gail, I have to admit that never in my life have I personally seen the Brown Mountain lights. I've grown up hearing about them. When I was a child in Asheville, my grandmother would tell me about them. And a couple of times in the 1970s, I would make the trip from Asheville out to Wiseman's View, where they're traditionally seen, looking for them. And I've yet to see the Brown Mountain lights. I've seen strange lights appearing in Linville Gorge, which I think we'll get into later on, which is considerably at a considerable distance from Brown Mountain. I've met dozens and dozens of people who've told me about the lights, and this has only served to really inspire me to greater curiosity. In doing literary research on the Irish poet W.B. Yeats, I turned up some incredibly interesting parallels between the Brown Mountain light phenomenon and those reported in Ireland and Scotland. So that more or less led me on a paper chase to find cross-cultural parallels to our Brown Mountain lights in Europe, Asia, Texas, and then in the Smokies, and I hope we can get into that later on.
Right.
As to why, not having seen them, I'm very reluctant to pronounce on who or what they really are, but I do know that they've sparked a considerable popular response in the way of legends and stories.
And Micha Hanks, can you share with us your views about your experiences?
Absolutely. Yes, I'm Micha Hanks, and I'm the Chief Field Investigator with the LEMUR Paranormal Investigation Team based out of Asheville, North Carolina. That stands for the League of Energy, Materialization, and Unexplained Phenomena Research. That's a lot, quite a mouthful there.
We'll work with LEMUR.
Yeah, LEMUR, yeah, we prefer that. We have spent collectively about 15 years there on the ridge of Brown Mountain and in the Linville Gorge studying what could cause these lights to manifest, and we feel like we've probably, as far as a technological explanation for it goes, we think that we've concisely come up with, a explanation as to how they manifest. Now my hope, of course, and this ties in with why, is to try and find some way where through science we can bridge where the metaphysical and the technological will meet someplace, and that there's actually going to be common ground between them, okay? That's kind of what we're doing up there in Asheville and everywhere else we can where we can study this kind of phenomenon. It's very fascinating to me personally.
Great. Well, thank you for coming this evening to share with us.
Absolutely.
And the next question I want to ask everyone is, why should we be aware of the phenomenon, the Brown Mountain lights or the Linville Gorge lights? What is the benefit for those of us who don't live in the area? Why should we be aware of this phenomenon?
Well, I suspect that there's a considerable scientific advantage to be had from this. It may lead to the discovery of new forms of energy, new forms of matter. It's certainly an intriguing scientific discovery to